Hey, what's up, guys? It's MyGamesGX here, and we are going to be going over the new branded cards, of course, but this time I'm going to be giving you guys a 40-card deck list that's really low to the ground and actually allows you to see your, really important hand trap that will stop your opponent from FTKing you. So with that being said, it still has the power of branded in it. It's still branded to its core with the best elements, and you can break boards with it and go first and make unbreakable boards. So if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure this video gets to 150 likes. Check out all the links down below and comment down below once you're done with this video what your favorite part of the video was. Let's get right into the list, guys. All right, so this is the list. It is 42 cards, so maybe I false advertised, but it's basically a 40 card list. This is going to be a deck list you can completely make with just 3 structure decks, and then you just toss in some staples. You're going to be tossing in 3 Fuelos, 3 Droll, and then, of course, the 1 Triple Tactics Talents. The side deck isn't really too necessary, and then the extra, you'll basically have everything outside of a few couple cent staples like Guardian Chimera and Garura and Borreload. But besides that, this list is very cheap and it's very good going second and incredible going first. So we're running 1 Shrouded Dragon because this card's a once per turn. It's a draw 1, right? And you get to send for cost. You guys got to remember a lot of these cards in branded just send for cost. And guys, you're going to be able to take 3 structure decks and just be able to do so much with it with just a couple dollar upgrade. So we have 3 aluber on top of that. Of course, 2 cartesia, 3 saronir. We have the saronir. It's incredible into Mitsurugi. It's great into the Mjolnir lock. Of course, it can't do it through Ripper, but we do have the 3 Droll to back it up on top of the 3 Fuelo. So you do have a healthy non-engine package on top of running 3 Super Poly and then 1 Called By and 1 Talents. And then also the Fallen and the Virtuous, if you count that as a non-engine. We are only running 1 of this card. This is one of the new cards we've been going over in the last couple of videos, but basically it sends for cost, and I get to pop 1 card on the field. It has to be a face-up card, and I can destroy, but I can send for cost 1 monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz for my extra deck to the graveyard, which is just insane, honestly, because then I get to just like extend with a board breaker, and then also I can use it to dodge Imperm on aluber, right? So this card's so good, but I'm only running it at 1 in here because we had to make some concessions to get it down to 40. I do think this card is a 3 of in basically any version of this deck over 45 cards, but in order to get down to 40, we are just making the concession of running 1, but I still have room for the 1 branded, run 1 branded in white. I wanted to run branded banishment in this build, but that's, again, this card is actually the Fallen and the Virtuous almost better than branded red, and it's definitely better than branded banishment. So I do think that this card kind of takes that card's place right now. And then, of course, we do have the 2 branded fusion, 1 Mercurier, 1 Kit, 1 Lubellion, and then 1 Quem, 2 Albaz, of course. Now, this is to make it so that we don't really brick. We have the branded in white, so we can always use the Albazes in the graveyard, spin it back, and make a Lubellion. As long as you play correctly, you can make the 2 Albaz work really easily, but Lubellion really just makes it so you never run out of Albaz, as long as you, like, play correctly. So I feel like the 2 is really nice, because at 3, you were just seeing a lot of brick hands, because Albaz is a card you don't quite want to see. And then, like I said, 1 Kit, it's just still great for the grind game. Lubellion for the lost plays. And speaking of lost, we're running 1 branded lost. It's just such a broken card. And then, like I said, 1 Called By, 1 Talents, because we are at 42, so it's a little bit more down to the ground. So I need my 1 card outs to, like, Ash and things like that. Also, Droll works as a really nice, like, Mulcharmy out as well. And Droll, I think, addresses most of your problem matchups going second. And running this 40 card build means that you're always going to probably see at least a Droll, a Fuelos, or at the very least a Bestial or a Super Poly. So it's very easy to see these cards, or even a Talents, right? Or Called By into Yummy, like, yeah, exactly, Droll. And then you always get a starter too, which is really nice. You always want, like, a piece of non-engine plus a starter, and then just ways to board break, which basically all these hands do. For the extra deck, it's quite similar to yesterday, but still a little bit different. We do have 2 Albion, 1 Borreload. We are running the Borreload because it's more of a pure branded Despia version. I do just want the option trees to go into, and then we have the Despia and Quertus. It's great into back row decks, and then also just like K9 and things like that. Then we have the Garura to send off of the Grand Guignol for a draw, but mostly there for the Super Poly because it's really good into Mitsu and Yummy. And then Guardian Chimera because we have the branded red still, so it's a really nice way to make branded red a end board piece, and then also an extender going first to play through like Imperm and board break with Guardian Chimera. And then you have Chaos Star Source. Speaking of board breaking. This card's incredible to make off of Albaz. However, we do have the Stigmata in the deck now, which is now our best like target to make off of Albaz when we summon it off of Rinbrum or just to board break with Albaz. And Stigmata is, I think this is called the Devouring Dogma Dragon in English now, so it's not actually called Stigmata in TCG by the time you're watching this. So it does spin back non-targeting 2 cards in either banishment or graveyard, so that means you can spin back face-down cards, which is insane with this card. Does not target, guys, so it's a very good way to spin back your 2 Albaz as well. So that's why I have no problem with 2 Albaz, and this card's a great interruption. You get to spin back like the Crystron spells in the graveyard or the Crystron effects in the graveyard that you couldn't otherwise interact with. And then 1 Lubellion, 2 Mirror Jade, 1 Stapelia, 1 Rinbrum, and 1 Titanclad. I do want to consider Philia Regis, but I'm not sure about cutting anything in here. Maybe the Guardian Chimera for Philia Regis, or even the Sanctifier, which we are siding for just going first through hand traps. And then also against decks that have so much follow-up, I want a lock option for just like containing their follow-up. And then we do have the 3 Thrust for board breaking, plus the 1 Fusion Dupe for getting through Ash Blossom. And the 2 other Fallen in the Virtuous, because this card's a great board breaker. It also gets Titanclad in the graveyard. So we're basically getting multiple interruptions going second with this card. It's really good into stun, just really good card in general. And then 3 Perulia, 3 Dark Ruler, and then 1 evenly matched to search off of the Thrust to just clear back row on top of that. So with that being said, let's get right into the combos, guys. I'm going to show you the 1-card combo first, and then we'll go into a 2-card combo. So this will be if you have aluber on its own, which is not bad, honestly. So we can go normal summon aluber, and if we only have like a spell discard, if we have a dragon discard, you can search High Spirits here, but here I'll just search the Branded Fusion because it's called by. Okay, we dodged the called by, or the Ash, awesome. I can send Albaz on top of the Lubellion to the graveyard, and then go to Albion. I'll show you guys why banishment isn't really needed anymore, and then you can go Albion, banish the aluber, plus the Albaz into the Lubellion, and then go Lubellion effect, discard for cost, spin back the Albaz on top of the Lubellion, and then go into Mirror Jade. And then here you can tribute over the Albion for the Lubellion in the graveyard using its effect in graveyard, and then go Lubellion effect on field to then just go into the Branded Lost. And then here we can just go into the end phase and go Albion the Branded Dragon effect, and this will get us into a Fallen in the Virtuous. Now here you can choose to either add it or set it. I would obviously rather just set it, and then here we have 2 interruptions in the form of Mirror Jade, banish for cost, sending like whatever it might be, the Titanclad, and then you also have the Fallen in the Virtuous to then send, which the Titanclad will then get you an Albaz interruption in the end phase, so you have tons of ways to do that. And then also, you could just send the Rinbrum here. It would be nice if you had an Albaz, but this is like a really simple way to have like multiple interruptions just off of 1 Branded Fusion. Obviously, this combo gets way better though once you have Cartesia in rotation, so let's show you guys that right now. So for this hand, we're going to have Fusion Deployment, aluber plus 1 discard. We can go Fusion Deployment here, revealing the Grand Guignol. And then we can special summon out the Cartesia. And then we can normal summon aluber, and then go aluber effect, getting out the Branded Fusion. And here we can go Branded Fusion, sending to the graveyard the Lubellion once again. Lubellion, as you guys probably know, or if you're new here, is very key to Branded. So we go Albion, banishing the aluber on our board, plus the Albaz once again for the Lubellion itself, and then we can go Lubellion, discarding the discard, fusing back itself, plus the Albaz that we just banished into the Mirror Jade. And here we can just go tribute over the Albion once again for the Lubellion, go Lubellion effect, getting us the Branded Lost, and then go for the Grand Guignol. And then we can go Grand Guignol effect, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Branded Lost. And here we're just going to get the Titanclad into the graveyard so we can connect the Albaz. You always want Titanclad and Albion in the graveyard for a really good unboard on top of Mirror Jade and like Lost typically. And then Branded Lost is also going to search us out Ember Courier here. And this gives us so many more interruptions just having the Cartesia, right? So we can go to the end phase, go Titanclad, go into the Quem. Quem effect sending the Albaz, because we don't have an Albaz in the graveyard already, so we need to get that, and then we can go Albion the Branded Dragon here. And here we can either set Branded in red or the Fallen and the Virtuous. I think the Fallen and the Virtuous is actually really just better in a lot of situations than Branded in red here, because you have everything you need off of whatever you already have in rotation. So we can just go Cartesia effect to hand, and then pass turn to our opponent, and then go into main one, right? Our opponent goes normal summon a monster. Here's our first interruption. We go Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade effect is going to send the Rinbrum to the graveyard, popping. Or sorry, banishing. And then here we can go Quem, summoning out the... Or no, we aren't going to go Quem here because we don't have Albaz. But then once your opponent summons another monster, right, you can basically tee up your Albaz. Let's just say your opponent has a light and dark monster on board, right? Or just a light or dark plus another body. Now you can go Rinbrum, banishing itself to summon the Albaz from graveyard. And then you can go Albaz, pitching that Cartesia you added back to make the Stigmata Devouring Dragon by fusing off the two monsters on your opponent's side of the field, either a light or dark, plus an effect monster, plus the Albaz. And then you can go Stigmata Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 Brand Lost, Chainlink 3 Quem. Quem is going to summon out the Cartesia, and then you can go Branded Lost, searching out the Albaz here. And you want to search out the Albaz, and this is why you only need 2 Albaz, right? Like, there was no situation where we ever needed the second Albaz. And then the Stigmata gets to spin back 2 other cards, right? Like, we could spin back the Rinbrum to the extra deck, or if your opponent has something in their graveyard. In this case, I think I'm just going to spin back the Titanclad so I can have that for follow-up, right? But then we have, of course, then we have the Cartesia effect, which can then just spit, or can just fuse off, right? The Albaz, or sorry, the Mirror Jade plus, I guess, the Grand Guignol to put that in the graveyard. And then you can make a Stapelia. Stapelia can obviously negate an effect. So far that's been, whatever, like 5 interruptions. And then we get to go Mercurier effect again because we have the Stigmata on the board. And then we have the Fallen and Virtuous for another follow-up interruption, right? Because we can just send the Titanclad again to the graveyard and just get back into, like, whatever it might be, right? We could also just send, I guess, the Albion for follow-up instead. So yeah, guys, this is just, like, the power of these cards. It just makes it so your end board just becomes basically impossible to play through, and that's only with 2 cards, so you should have a way more insulated line, guys. Let me show you guys one more insane combo. What happens when you have, like, more of, like, a full hand? So this is going to be the same hand, except you have basically more, like, better extenders, or better discards in the form of Albaz and Saronir. So we start Fusion Deployment, reveal the Grand Guignol. Once again, we've already done that, so I'm not going to bore you guys. And then normal summon the aluber, go aluber effect, searching out the high spirits. And this is important if you have the Saronir. That's why Saronir is so good, because then you can just chain the Saronir. Or sorry, chain the high spirits, pitching Saronir, sending the Titaniclad. And then you can search out a Shrouded Dragon, and then you can go Chainlink 1 Saronir to send the Branded Retribution. And here we can go Shrouded Dragon effect to send the Branded Fusion. So that we already have Branded Fusion in rotation. And we get to draw a card for free. We get a Saronir, even better. Banish the Retribution, go for Branded Fusion. And we still get to Branded Fusion. And then here we can go Branded Fusion. Kind of do the same thing as before, except we're going to be ending on a bit more than we did before. We can go into the Albion. Albion effect, banishing the Saronir plus the Albaz in the graveyard, since we do just have a free Saronir to banish this time around. Discarding the Fulos. And then we are going to spin back the Albaz. Plus the Lubellion, and then go into the Mirror Jade, obviously. And then tribute over the Albion for the Lubellion once again. So we already have Titanclad plus Albion in the graveyard. Go for the Branded Lost. And here we really get to have some fun. We get to go for Cartesia effect, fusing off itself, plus aluber for the Grand Guignol. And then we can go Grand Guignol, Chainlink 2 branded lost. And then here we can search out the Spriggans kit. And then go for off of the Grand Guignol. We can either send... We can send a whole plethora of things. I think we could send the Stigmata to end on Mercurier, which is pretty cool. So we'll just do that. And then we can go Spriggans kit effect. And... Actually... We can just go... We can just send the Garura to draw a card. And we draw into Droll, right? We're running a 40-card build, so we're going to draw into, like, our hand traps even better. And then we can go Spriggans kit effect again. And then here we can get either... We could get the Retribution that's banished, but here I'd prefer to actually get the Fallen and the Virtuous, because this card's just so good. I'd rather have it on my end board. And then we can spin back the Albaz to deck, and then we can set the Fallen, and then we can go end phase. And we could even use the Fallen to play through hand traps here if we needed, like, an Albion or a Titanclad, let's say, if they, like, crow it or something before. And then here we can go Cartesia effect to add to hand. And then we can go Titaniclad effect to summon out the Quem. And here we can go Quem effect to send the Albaz, since we somehow don't have one anymore. I guess we never needed the other Albaz. I guess it was just with Saronir, basically. So this, at least it's a 4-card or 3-card combo. And then we can go Albion effect to get the branded in red. So you guys see that we end on a bit more now, because we have the red, and we have the Fallen set as well. And then we also got a draw out of it. And then obviously we do the same thing with Mirror Jade, send the Rinbrum, so that we can summon out the Albaz from the graveyard, go Rinbrum effect, summon Albaz, discarding the Cartesia, so we finally get in graveyard, and then we can make the Stigmata again. This is why I like keeping the Stigmata, so we can spin back 2, right? I want to spin back my Rinbrum, I want to spin back my Retribution to my deck, which is pretty good grind game, right? And then we get to summon, or we get to search out Mercurier off the branded loss since we fused. And we still have the Banish. And also we still have this, obviously, on top of the Rinbrum, which summons... Like, with the Droll and the Saronir, like, your opponent's never playing through this. There were also opportunities to loop the Mirror Jade if you didn't have this many bodies. So there was plenty of different stuff that we could have done with this. It's just, like, a very, like, decent showcasing of how good Stigmata in Fallen of the Virtuous is, and this 40-card build, being able to draw your hand traps, just consistently see, like, really good hands is very nice, honestly. So guys, did you enjoy that video? Do you guys want to see 60-card build now? Because we've done 50, we've done 54, we've done now 40-card. So what did you guys think of that? So what did you guys think of that build? 40-card branded goo with the new post-structure deck, guys. Like I said, this is like a below $100 deck list. You just have to buy Fulos. You don't even have to get it. You could just replace this with probably Ash Blossom, in my opinion, or just run more board breakers like a Forbidden Droplet, basically, instead. I just think Fulos definitely helps you into the FTK matchups a bit. It's just a main deck staple in every deck nowadays. If you guys want to see builds with, like, that are a bit different take than branded right now, we've been making a lot of videos in anticipation of the structure deck, so if you haven't already checked them out, make sure to go check them out. Links will be down in the description. You can also just go through the recent videos tab on my channel to see them. And with that being said, I do appreciate everyone stopping by. I do appreciate it. Comment down below what you guys thought of the video. Leave a like. Remember, if this video gets 150 likes, we will do a follow-up video. And, of course, check out all my links down below. Click the join button to help support the channel. Go to my website, pick up my branded spreadsheet, pick up some merch, all that fun stuff if you want to help support the channel. Love you guys. Stay safe. Bye now.